The following program was provided by a valued member of our local community. Rogers TV is proud to support local producers and share local voices, ideas, and opinions. For more information, please visit our website.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of You Can Paint Too. I'm your host, Matt Watkinson, and today I thought I'd show you how to do a little aurora scene in oil. So up here, you might see that this canvas is black. There's black acrylic paint underneath here. On top of the acrylic paint, there's a layer of linseed oil, a very thin layer of linseed oil. And on top of the linseed oil, I've mixed a bunch of transparent colors. I have phthalo green down here, phthalo blue up here, alizarin crimson, and a little bit more phthalo green up there. And I thought I'd show you guys today how to make a little aurora scene, so let's just jump right into it. And this one's very fun because the first thing that we get to do is probably the prettiest part of the whole scene. So we're gonna get a little bit of white, just pure white on the paint, on your fan brush. You could technically use any brush, and we're just gonna pick out a spot where we want the aurora to sort of float on. And I'm gonna start way over here. And then maybe something like that goes up there, gets a little bit higher. And for that, that's all we need. You can add more than one if you'd like. So maybe this one comes right up here, just like that. Now from there, I'm gonna clean my fan brush off, just so we can have it ready for the next part here. Put her down. And then we're gonna get a nice clean 2-inch brush, wipe it off really good, make sure it's dry, and then we just want to come up to these auroras back here, and we don't want to disturb the bottom part of it, but we want to take from just above where the white paint is, and we want to pull up evenly everywhere, straight up. So start over on this side, up, a little bit, up, up, up. All over here too. If you get two of them at once, that's fine. Up, 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 up. Go over here, wipe off some of the excess transparent colors that we had, and you can go back over and just clean this up a little bit. If you got some over your edge there, you can just sort of dust it all in like that. And just like that, you have some nice, super simple auroras in your sky. And I'm going to take a little bit of that white again, and I'm gonna dust a little bit back here. I just want to put some way back here, just to sort of have something for everything else we're going to put in here to show. I think we'll have a little bit of water down here. Okay, I'm going to go to the fan brush. And I'm going to take a little bit of black. I'm going to take, actually, you know, before I do this, I think I'm going to make this part a little bit lighter down here, just so it can, hopefully it can show up a little bit better on TV. There we go. Nice and straight to finish it off. Back to my black. And the reason we did that is so that, yeah, like I said, now these will all show. And then way back here, I think maybe about here, I want to put a little row of trees. Just tapping downwards with the fan brush, keeping these pretty close together. And it's okay that these are dark, because this is a dark scene right now. Maybe towards each side they get a little bit bigger. Sort of indicate that maybe this is like a little a lakeside or peninsula, I can add a few little treetops to some of them. Not many though, just so some stick out back there. And from there, let's put a couple more. Let me use my knife again. Just so I like to use let me show you guys here. I like to use my knife, just get a little tiny bit on the very edge. And it sort of helps me plan where I'm gonna have my trees. I know I want some bigger ones here to this side, and maybe a couple that go right up through here, through the aurora that we built. That would be nice. Let me wipe off my knife here. Go back to the fan brush, get a lot of black on it. And these are hard to see, but we're just putting more tree shapes. These ones that I did with the knife, the tops on the side, I'm giving them a bit more. You can see some leaves now. They're getting a bit closer. They're on this side of everything. And you can't see these very good now, probably especially not, maybe on TV. But we're gonna highlight all these and they'll make sense. More black. The last couple paintings we did should give you sufficient practice in making these evergreen trees. When I'm doing this too, we haven't really established anything that's going to be happening under here. I know that I want water in there, so when you're doing this at home, just be mindful of where you want your water to be, where you want your horizon to be. And never make your horizon dead square in the center. It always looks awkward. Paintings look a lot better when they're one-sided and a little kind of things making it uneven, and just makes it interesting. Symmetry in paintings is, I think it's boring. But art is also very subjective, so that's fine. Like I said, just gonna fill in this side too. Maybe a couple more back here. And our far away trees. Just sort of establish a bit of this ground a bit better down here. Now, let's take, let's go right into, I'm gonna clean my fan brush again. Get it really good and clean. This part's a little bit boring, I know. We'll get right back into painting in 1 second. Dust that off really good, dry it off really good. I'm gonna go into a little bit of, I'm gonna get a little bit of the phthalo green and the black and go into some of this white over here. So it's kind of like a gray, green, kind of white color. Gray, green. There we go. I could add a little bit of blue in there too. Cool it down some. Okay, now, actually before I do this fun little trick, I'm gonna grab my knife again, take this color, and I like to take this and go back to some of these highlights back here. Or there's some of these little trunks, and this is the first part of the painting where things start to stick out at you. Starts to come to life a little bit. Adding some of just the reflected light from this aurora coming down, just hitting the tops of some of these distant trees back there. A little bit though, don't get too much paint on your knife for this part. So these are back there, they're a little bit quieter. We just want to suggest that some of these have some light hitting that we can see from all the way over here. These ones up here, these are the funnest to highlight. You can make a big old highlight on some of those. But be mindful of where the light's coming from. It looks like this is the brightest part of the aurora, so I'm going to light up this side of the tree highlight, and on this side I'm going to go to the other side of the tree, the left side of the tree top here. Boom. Boom. And just like that, we have some pine trees, evergreens that got illuminated from the aurora. Now, same thing on this side. You take the same highlight color and just sprinkle in a few little where we think that light would be hitting. This one, he's kind of back there tucked away, so I'm gonna leave him for the most part alone. That guy's good. He's tucked away back there too. Make him come out. Now on the other side, we have the light, like we said, coming from the other side. So highlight the other side of the tree. Kind of draws your attention to the middle of the painting, the center. And I'm letting these ones get sort of darker over here too, as they, in my mind, get farther away from the light. Now, let's take a bit of the titanium white and make some, we can make any kind of color we want here. I'm just gonna make probably something similar to that grayish color that we had going on there. And firstly, actually, let me put my fan brush down. I'm gonna get, I'll get a 2-inch brush. Same one that I used to make the aurora highlights with. And I got a little bit of that gray on there right now that we used to highlight the trees. I'm gonna go back here. The aurora looks brightest here, so let's start figuring out where we want our water to be and just pull down some reflections straight. Imagine where this meets your shoreline. Like I said, just come down straight. A little darker here to the side, not closest to the light. I'll clean my brush up real quick again. 1 second. You want to make sure you get all the excess paint off, or all the excess mineral spirits. I just gotta grab a little paper towel down here. There we go. And then once you've dried off your brush again, there's no more paint on it, you can go right across and just soften these all up, blend them together, make it look like little reflections from the highlights in the trees and the lake. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna take a 1-inch brush. Get a little bit of all these colors going on in here. Just white, tinted with a little bit of alizarin crimson, phthalo green. And right here, I'm gonna decide where I want my land for these trees to live on. And I think right about here looks good. And we just pull it out, right into the water, just like that. I have some land. I'm also gonna put some here. That looks nice, I like that. Maybe this land has a little bit of a protrusion that comes out. Just like I said, to just make your painting a little bit different, you know. And down here, we can do the same thing. We can just pull it a little tiny bit. It's way far back. We just want to see there's a tiny bit of something there that those trees are sitting on. Okay, now I'm gonna go with that same color back around here and just put in a little separator here. This is just the white. Try to make this one straight. I gotta straighten that one up a little bit. Oh yeah, there we go. This just, like I said, just creates a illusion of a little bit of a water line here. See? Looks cold though. It's a very, very, very chilly painting. Same with here, don't want to forget him. Okay, now let's go over here. And add a little bit of foreground items, elements, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to take that 1-inch brush again. Let me grab this one. I'm going to grab a 1-inch brush. I'm going to go mix them right on the brush. I got a little bit of the black, alizarin crimson, phthalo blue. Just want to get something very, 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 very dark. And then maybe down here, we could just figure out where we want to have another little piece of land and just block it in. We just want to put some dark color down so that the rest will show up when we go to do it. Looks like this kind of comes over here now. I kind of like that. Maybe we'll just, maybe we'll just bring it all the way right over there. Have some cool little plant hanging out in the front here. Why not? Some bushes, something. We'll try to make it look like the aurora is just hitting him nicely. Put it down. Maybe a little higher up, actually. I want this one to be, like I said, have some bit of character. And it kind of looks like now that this maybe wraps around here and comes back to this side. Maybe we should put another big pine tree right there, evergreen. For now, though, I'm just gonna put some snow on this bit of land here, whatever you'd want to call it. We'll just get a bunch of these bright colors, make it look like the auroras, really lighten them up. And I'm just, like I said, just mixing around all these things, touching a little bit of all these colors here and there. Okay, now with this super bright color, I'm gonna get at least a little bit of mineral spirits too in here, just so I make sure that this all sticks really good. And I'm gonna come right back up here again and just start sprinkling in where this land is going to be. And I'm letting it sort of just run out as it gets down farther and farther and farther, mixing with this dark color down here. We have a little land here, and as you can see, it's getting more gray as it gets toward us here in the foreground. Okay. Maybe from there, maybe like I said, maybe we can add one little tiny. We'll take that same pile of dark color that we have, just a mixture of a bunch of different things. And let's just put, let's put a funny little guy right here. He's just a baby, and he sits out there, and he sees all these other little trees sitting out here. Oh, let me clean off my fan brush again really quick. I hate washing brushes because when I'm washing my brush, I'm not actually painting. And that's what I want to do. I'm going to grab, let me go over here off camera really quick, just get a little bit more black on the palette. And let's go back up here, loading up the fan brush full. You can add a bunch of colors in this too. You can take some of the crimson, some of the phthalo green, dark. These are in the foreground, so we want them to be super dark. And look at here. I'm just gonna put in a little baby pine tree. He's just hanging out there. He's still growing. On this side. This end of my knife seems to be working a bit better. Put him down. Get a little bit of linseed oil on my brush here, just so I can really make this paint stick. Really want these trees in the foreground to have a little bit more character. Gonna clean off my brush again. Now, I'm gonna go back in to that white. Oh, heck, we can use the phthalo green, white, weird stuff we got going on over here. That's fine. And I'm just getting this nice and full again. Because I thinned down this paint over here, I want to make sure that this highlight will stick to it. So I'm going to get him a little bit wet too again. So I just have some nice wet paint over here. Mixing it up really good. And now we can go highlight these little buggers that sit here with the best view of all the little evergreens. Just a couple there chilling. I think that we need one more there actually. I'm starting to look at that, and sometimes the composition just sort of will mess you a bit. We'll put a little guy right there. Look at that. Because I'm too lazy to clean my nice white fan brush, I'm going to make this one with just a 1-inch brush. It's the same technique. You'll see. Just put it down there, plop it in. We don't need much detail either. We'll make it all make sense when we go to highlight him in a second. Now back to the fan brush that has the gray greens, all types of things on it. And again, we can just add a couple little highlights to him, make him stick out as a little separate tree. Okay, now we've got a nice little aurora up here. We've got a nice row of trees, some water going on. Let's take, let's get the knife again, wipe it off. And here's something that you can do to add a little bit of coolness to your painting. I'm gonna get a little bit of that white color, and I'm gonna pull it super, super thin. And I'm just gonna tap here and there where I think light is sort of dancing off. Make these get farther and farther as they get closer. Just like so. And if you want, you can be fancy. Check this out. This is a makeup brush. It's just a makeup brush. This is probably my favorite brush of all these things, because watch this. I'm just gonna go over here on some of these and lightly soften them. Barely touching it. See how they're getting a little bit softer and blending into the water now? If you don't want your reflections to be sometimes they can be a bit jarring when you put them on the canvas, especially if you're new. You can just soften these out though, just like this. Just so they're smooth and quiet as you want them to be. Pull it right back up here into the snow. But don't go too crazy with this part. Okay. Now, all right, I think that, you know what? I think right here there should be a big tree. We got a couple minutes left. I think we really should make a big tree there. I hate to block it out all the things that I just worked so hard for, but it just seems like a natural good spot for it. Maybe even. All right, let's take this. We got black, those dark colors again. We'll put right here a nice big tree. Comes right through all those other ones. I know we worked so hard for them, and that's fine. This one's big. Let's give him another arm too. Coming right through there. Grab our liner brush. Get a little bit wet with some mineral spirits. And I just pulling some on here. It's getting this nice full with some nice soupy, really viscous paint. And we're gonna go up here and just put in, same as always, just a few little branches and things like that for our tree. Make some of these branches come over some of the light parts that you have in the snow too. Right up here by this aurora. See? It really makes them stand out a little bit more. From there, I'm gonna take my knife, wherever you are. Just a little bit of the, I'm gonna dull this down a bit too. I'm gonna make it sort of like a gray, darker gray green. Something like that. Just enough to make it so our tree looks like it has some bark. I'm just going up the tree and I'm just touching one side, and I'm just letting the painting take what it wants off of my knife and going back and reloading. Keep these to one side though, because that's where the light is hitting. If you just fill your whole tree up with this, it'll look funny. I want you guys to have successful paintings here, especially on some of your first goes. I think that we have a finished painting. An aurora on the river. I hope that you guys get a chance to try this one. It's a lot of fun, limited palette, and just super simple. And until next time, we'll see you again.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Imagine the opportunity to beat Tom Brady at sports.
We're going into a really tough division.
The game is much more physical. Everything is faster, bigger.
Birmingham are absolute favourites with the arrival of Tom Brady.
It's a friendly competition. Well, not so friendly.
How about that?
Come on. Can't find a trash can big enough.
Was that 4 or 5? He's lost count and still thinks he can drive. Do you think he knows that when he is caught and charged with impaired driving, he'll lose his license and a lot more? If he gets in his car, he'll face costs exceeding $20,000. Does he realize he could have a criminal record for his choice to drive? And it could be much worse if he crashes. I wonder what he'll be thinking tomorrow.
Have a Holden one at 15.
Visit ArriveAlive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive. Drive sober.
David Prang from the Chamber of Commerce Brantford Brant speaks with community members about events and organizations that impact the city of Brantford and the county of